Hey guys, I just wanted to give an update of where my Tidewell Selena2 ended up on day 1 before I go to bed here. So I was hoping to play Haunting Abomination in the campaign, but Selena2 doesn't get anything but Sceptres it seems. So I ended up just playing Frost Terra, pretty standard cold setup. You can basically just play the standard trees with Goddess of Knowledge and stuff, or you can go Deception. But that's all pretty standard stuff. And then this is just where I ended up day 1. This is not supposed to be a guide. This is just here's my progression along the way. Um, cool. So I'll do a quick dummy real quick, and I'll just let this run while I talk here. Okay, so a couple of changes from the guide. Some big items that I got. This neck is really, really nice because it allows you to drop the Siren Face Guard helm, which is what you're getting your curse from early on. It just gives you max focus blessings. It's essentially like T1 weapon cold to spells. It's very good. And then it gives you the curse as well. I paid about 100 FE for this. I think they're coming down to like 75 or 80 right now. Even lower. Super worth it. I got Undying Faith. This is not super mandatory. I just got it early because it was about 50 FE for me. And it was pretty cheap. It just allows you to get that sealed mana comp. You don't have to run it on a slate then. You can run it this. And it just worked out really nice that it allows me to push my life down right against the 1% margin so that I get maximum value from Drenched Hem. On that same note, I'm going Silencing Severance, Drenched Hem, and Crimson Endless Dance right now. Dance is really nice for mapping because it just can give you, pretty often it gives you the sleep or the sustain. Both are really nice early, as long as you don't get one shot. This tornado is definitely way more damage, and then tomorrow I'm going to look towards transitioning into a Spellburst setup. So definitely, we'll see where I end up tomorrow. There's a lot of scenarios where you probably just drop the activation medium node as well, just to gain back the movement speed and the mana comp, so that could definitely be an option. As you can see right now, I mean, I'm peaking close to a bill, but realistically it's way more averaged around 500 to 600 mil. There's a big issue with Tidewell in that it doesn't do super well with clear. It kind of only hit one or two or a couple targets that are really close together, and as such, it kind of lacks in clear. And so this number, even though it can hit reasonably high peaks, it's not the most consistent for clear. And I found that Restless Glacier is super helpful for pushing your clear. Like, it gives you max frostbite, which is great. You need to craft that on your rings anyways if you're gonna drop the campaign treasure trove neck. But it also just gives you all the stats you want, right? You're getting int, which is our main stat. You're getting max frostbite rating, and you're getting the explode. And I think they've come down. They're still about 70 FE. It's pretty worthwhile for clear, especially on this skill. Yeah, I mean, it's super nice. You make sure you have to get to 100 frostbite rating at least, so that enemies are frozen. If you don't, then you're in trouble. It's not going to do anything, so make sure you get that. Alright. Other than that, the build felt pretty good. I was able to get top 10 on NA, which is not the most competitive leaderboard, but was pretty good, and I swapped basically straight out of campaign. I swapped at level 62 to Tidewell, and I haven't changed anything since. I basically ran the exact same tree setup as I had planned to. Standard stuff here, Prophet, Lich, and Magister. The only thing here is that you can see that I'm running Chili here. That's just because I ended up getting a Burning Touch pedigree from killing Trav 7. If I didn't get that, I wouldn't run Chili. It's a pretty low value talent anyways. We don't need it for the generation because we can already get that right here very easily. And again, Prophet Tree, like, there's a lot of good stuff in here, right? You can get Cold Infiltration once you drop the neck. You can get Frostbite Effect. You can get Frostbite on hit here if you don't run Glacial Freeze. There's a lot of different things you can do, and it's good to dump points in this tree, but, like, it's not that bad to take these. These are fine damage points early. And Chili is just not very high value, so you definitely just run Burning Touch, or potentially you just run Acquaintance, because this 25 additional spell damage is non-conditional. Which is probably better than Chili, to be honest, but I haven't swapped it and tested it yet. Survivability is a little rough. It was fine in T7, but it's particularly rough in T8. I would definitely not recommend you go into T8 with this little damage for most people. I'm doing it just because I prefer to be in T8 and out of T7, and it is profitable to do so, but you are going to die. I mean, I got to 95. I used a decent amount of the tokens that cause you to not lose XP, maybe 100 something so far, and I'm not planning to use any more realistically. I'm just going to be dying too much. It doesn't make any sense. If you want to farm levels, you can stay in T7, or eventually you'll just get levels once you gear up in T8 more. My gear is pretty standard. I only have T1 weapons, and even them, they're not rolled that well. I have a max focus blessing blend here. This is not the best blend, probably. I would try and get all skill, or even 8% elim is pretty good. Any of that stuff is useful. Focus blessing was just this was 1 FE, so I snagged this because it was super cheap. All skills was like 30 FE at the time, so just weigh your options. There's plenty of different ones that you can go for. Hakate's, this is, I don't know, I spent 60 FE on this. I don't think it was really worth it. I would probably aim for many different options if I was to redo this again. I think you can just get a crafted helm is fine, or there are some other options, right? You could eventually, I mean, if you go spell burst, something like Solid River would be great, but that's thousands of FE at the moment. But yeah, I mean, crafted is totally fine. You could also just run Siren Face Guard for a while, or you could Vorax Siren Face Guard and not buy this neck. I wanted to buy Crimson Gash multiple times today. It's been bouncing around between 400 and 1200 FE. I think right now it's like 800 FE. It goes down and it goes up. I haven't bought it yet. If you get this, you do need to make up the chair charge speed, which means either getting it on ring prefixes, which is a decent option. I think you can roll up to 70 on tier 2. Yeah, so it can go pretty high, and that's probably the first spot I'd look to. Otherwise, your options are like advanced suffixes. You could drop the crit here, and you could get it here. You don't need that much. I think you need about 266 or 270, and that'll free up, you can drop Ground Divide, and you can get all that stuff. I'm probably looking to get either the Tidewell supports, or potentially try out the Fallen Star supports that allow you to Spell Burst tomorrow. So that's top of my list. They're a couple hundred FE right now. I don't really want to buy them, and I want to see if they come down a little bit. But otherwise, gear is all pretty standard. Nothing too fancy or unexpected here. You could go for Kingly Armor as well early on if it's cheap. It's not. Okay. At one point in time, this was 30 FE, and I was thinking about buying it, and I did not. It has since gone up quite a bit, but that's another good way to get your Terror Restoration if you end up getting the Gash neck. I think that's about everything. I picked up a single Paralyzed one here, a single Focus Blessing, and a single Edgy Generation Blessing, and then this is just defensive. Slates are pretty standard. There's nothing crazy going on. Those should all be in the list. And then traits, again, these are just very basic. These aren't really rolled at all. I just have what I have. So, alright, cool. I will try and keep the planner updated with my thoughts here, and I will try and get one of these out every day after I make some changes. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.